said unto his disciples, let us cross over to the other side. What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone, everyone, everyone? It is another day, another time, and another week for yours and my favorite Monday night show. And I'm talking about We'll Talk Monday. We're not talking about Monday Night Football no more because that's over with. We talking about your favorite show, my favorite show, We'll Talk Monday. You all. We are closing out Love Month. Can y'all believe we at the end of February, y'all? Can y'all believe that? Did y'all? This year seems to be flying by, but we are closing out our discussion on love. And when I tell y'all, when I met this powerful woman right here, I knew I had to have her on this series that we was doing for We'll Talk Monday. And here is a little bit about her. Darla is a certified trauma informed coach and relationship expert, a speaker and a podcaster with lived experience in overcoming narcissistic abuse. Her own healing journey from trauma and toxic relationships has fueled her passion for helping women reclaim their powers and find fulfillment in their lives and relationships by forcing by focusing on the nervous system. Darla guides her clients to process past trauma, rebuild self worth, and embrace their personal strength. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, after this countdown, I bring you all Miss Darla. You all gonna love her just as much as I do. So, let's go. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Thank you once again for coming on. And what I want you to do right now is tell my audience a little bit about you so that my audience can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah. So I'm a relationship coach, but what that really means is I help women to fall in love with themselves so they can find their dream partner. And I use, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's somatic trauma informed coaching. And somatics is when our nervous system has an experience, we kind of have a memory that gets in our body. And when it's anxiety or it's trauma, that can get stuck. So I help women to become unstuck.
You help women to become unstuck. Man,
Hmm.
that's powerful. That's powerful right there. So let's get into this conversation. How, like I said, this series we have been dealing with love and relationships and
Hmm.
just anything that is in between it. So let's start it off with this question. What is a relationship coach? So like how did you get started doing that?
Mhm. So it's been a journey. I was married to a narcissist, so that's where the narcissistic abuse recovery comes from. I met him 20 years ago, and when I got out of that marriage in 2013, that healing journey, it was a lot. It was a lot. I went from being completely traumatized, almost taking my life in 2013, to going through this healing process now, 11 years ago, where I'm starting to date very differently. So my healing journey is kind of like taking accelerations and plateaus, and I'm in this huge acceleration that started a year ago. And it started when I got to really know myself. That part of loving ourselves is more, it's more about getting to know who I am, knowing my value without those other people. And so, how I got into the relationship specifically, I started out doing just general trauma and somatic
Hmm.
recovery and realized all of my experience is in romantic relationships when it comes to narcissistic abuse or with dismissive avoidance as well, was a theme for 2024, it seemed. But that's where my lived experience is. And so I think about who was I 10 years ago and what did I need to hear and where was I at? And that's the woman I'm talking to. That woman that was ten years ago, Darla. And and it goes back to what I said. It's about that relationship with ourselves. We all want to have our dream partner, but if we aren't our dream partner within ourselves, that person will never appear.
I like that. So you had to learn. So in other words, what you're saying is you had to learn to love yourself before you could ask anybody else to love you.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's funny, I had somebody ask me one time. They asked me, they said, "Who is James H. Glover the third?" They're like, and I started it off by telling them, I'm like, I'm a preacher, I'm a podcaster, I'm this, I'm that. And they're like, I didn't say who is the man that everybody expects you to be. I asked, who are you? And when I tell you, when that person asked me that question, it made me look at myself because I'm like, I can't even give you that answer because I don't even know who I am anymore.
Mhm.
Because I had become so caught up in trying to be everything to everybody else that I had ended up losing myself and didn't even realize it.
Yes. Yeah, we have
Like
to
I didn't
know.
even realize I had lost myself until it was too late. When I looked up, I'm like, how did I lose? Oh, okay.
I do know that feeling. That's how I felt in 13. When I even look at the pictures of myself back then, I don't even recognize that person.
Hmm.
I, and that happens within an abusive relationship. You lose a piece of yourself one piece at a time and you don't even notice it. And 10 years go by, and I always have that drip effect. I always refer to that as you have a rock in a river, and if you look at it day to day, you don't notice the deterioration from the water that's chipping it at it away. But if you come back to that river 10 years, that rock might not even be there you know
Facts. Because it might not be, but you know that it was there because of the simple fact of you threw it in there. So it's like,
Yes.
in other words, what you're saying is you was bleeding internally and nobody else could even see it because of the fact of it wasn't internally.
Yeah, and in fact, on the outside, it appeared like I had the perfect life. We had this big house we were renting that we couldn't afford, and we entertained a lot, hot tub in the house kind of stuff. It was ridiculous.
Man, you was living a
Right?
life. You was living a life.
They thought we were, but what they didn't know was when that door shut and he would go crazy on me, his eyes turned black, or he would tell me what I could and couldn't do, what I could and couldn't wear. They had no idea how controlling he was because I was forbidden from discussing that with anybody.
So you had to put on a fake front.
Mhm.
I told somebody one time that what COVID-19 really did was it made us put on masks because of the simple fact of trying to stay healthy. I said,
Mhm.
but here's the thing. A lot of us was wearing masks before COVID-19 even came about.
Yes. Yeah.
And people just couldn't see it. We was one way behind closed doors and something else when we was in person. So
Mhm.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely. Yeah.
I would agree with that. So let's talk about where you are now. Like the Darla that is here now. If the Darla that is here now could talk to the Darla from 10 years ago, what would she tell her?
Mhm. Boy, I would tell that woman that was laying on that floor sobbing, getting ready to get the gun and shoot herself, I would thank God I didn't. Don't do it because it's no man is worth it, first of all. And you are so powerful and you don't even know it. You have this full life ahead of you. Not only are you going to miss out on seeing your daughter get married and have a grandson, you're going to miss out on all the women that you're going to help regardless of that, even if someone isn't like facing that in their future, it doesn't even have to be that. It's about that inner strength of, do you know that little girl that stood up to your father when he was abusive to you because that was the only person you have? That's the person you still have. Like, you have got this. You're going to go through some really hard times. You're going to have to accept some really hard truths about yourself, but you got this. And everything that has happened to you has been for you.
I like that. Everything that happened to you was for you. I like that.
Mhm.
And that's what we have to realize is just because it happened to you, you know, my former pastor used to say all the time, and I find myself saying it to this day. Most of the time, I say it when I close my shows. Sometimes our disappointments are God's appointments, meaning some things that we're looking at is bad. God's only turning it around for our good.
Yeah. We have to go through, I really believe we have to go through some hard times. And I think too, when we have our higher power knocking on our door, I literally just recorded a podcast from my own show right before this because I am in the middle of a move. And while I had planned on moving back to Colorado later in the year, and this is big empowerment, talk about self empowerment. I was stalked by my ex husband and left in 2014 because I was afraid for my safety. My safety level hasn't changed by any bit. To my knowledge, he's still in Denver. He's still in on this earth. But my decision was, the heck with that. He's not going to control where I live. He has power over me as long as I'm running from state to state, which I have done. I'm coming back and I'm coming back empowered. I'm not going to come back in fear. And that that higher power is knocking on my door. Month of January, I lost because I've changed. I walked away from many friendships, including a best friend, which was so painful because, and what was the hard part is this person hadn't done anything to me. She'd never hurt me, but because I didn't resonate. But as my whole support system and my personal life like literally fell apart during the month of January, I heard the calling. Like, there's nothing holding you here. Go, take your power back, go back home. And I listened.
It's funny that you said that because sometimes what God will do is He will allow certain things to happen that we look at as trauma and complete disaster. And God's like, that ain't a disaster. I'm telling you, just give me time. I'm working something out in your favor. Just give me time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm better able to see that now. And when I was younger, I did feel like it was happening to me. Like, why does this always happen to me? I always have these men and they're, it's always like, oh, well, one thing was I was the common denominator in those
Hmm, hmm,
relationships. I'm
hmm.
not responsible for their behavior, but what I am responsible for is my part. What inside of me was lacking to attract a man that was emotionally unavailable, that was abusive, or whatever that was going on with him. Because I was a people pleaser, I was codependent, and I didn't see my value. I looked to other men to give me value instead of me saying, I I am the you know what. I am valuable and I don't need somebody else in my life to to prove that. Now, granted, I would love to have a partner and I will when the timing's right.
Amen. When the time is right, it'll happen, but not a time sooner. Because here's the thing: we can rush the process and end up with, instead of Prince or Princess Charming, we end up with a complete disaster just because we can't be patient in the process.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of rushing the process. I'm ready to just be patient and allow what is happening to happen.
Yeah, and knowing my power, like in November when I went through a really hard breakup, a short relationship that I was very invested in, but because I knew my value and because he wasn't showing up in a way I needed him to be, and I gave him the opportunity to do that and said, I will stay if you go get therapy, and he refused to do so. He would not work on himself at all or take accountability for what was going on. It didn't matter how much I loved him. I loved myself more. And I told him that when I left, I love myself more. And this is why I'm out. So I walked, even though it was hard and I went through a very hard time for a few weeks. I knew I made the right decision.
Yeah. At some point, it becomes it's either you or me. And at this point, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing
Yeah.
me. And I'm not feeling sorry for it anymore. I'm choosing peace over this situation. I'm choosing joy over this situation. I'm choosing happiness over this situation. There's got to be better than this. And then what cracks me up is the person that says, "You're never going to find another me." That's the
I don't
plan.
want to.
I don't want
I
another
know,
you.
right? Right.
Like,
Thank
do
you.
you promise I'm never going to find another you? There's a reason why I am walking away.
Yes. Yes. I love that. It's so, so true.
And I think sometimes we can rush the process and think that we are ready for a relationship.
Yes.
And in all honesty, we're not. And what happens is you start bleeding on someone else. Or what happens is because of your past trauma that you haven't gotten healed from or gotten that help to heal from, another person has to pay for that person's mistake. And let me be honest, I was in a situation like that where I was showing up in the right way. I was being direct, I was coming correct, I was letting my intentions be known from day one. And this person, because of her previous experiences, could not receive me because he felt like I was playing games. And I'm like, and for the longest, I tried to fight and stay, fight and stay, fight and stay. But at some point, it gets to the point to where you get tired of fighting.
Yeah.
And what happened is I had to notice that I'm like, why am I putting so much effort into fighting when you're not putting that effort into fighting? You're ready to throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. Me, on the other hand, I'm fighting. Like
Yeah.
something's got to give.
It definitely has to be reciprocal. Matthew Hussey talks a lot about invest and then step back, invest, step back. And if you aren't coming to them and then stepping back and then they come to you, this reciprocal thing, that something's off, something's not good.
Exactly. Because it's not. It comes to a point to where it's like, no, we gotta, we gotta step away.
Hmm.
So now we about to have a little fun.
Okay.
All right. We about to play a little game called this or that. I'm gonna give you three options and you gotta pick one to get rid of.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna make it easy on you at first. I'm gonna start it off easy on you.
Okay.
Because from our previous conversations in our meet and greet, I do know that you are a workout fanatic as well. Like you love
I love
working.
to work out. I do.
All right. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to give you three options: go to the gym, go hiking, or do kickboxing.
Oh, we're getting rid of the kickboxing.
You're like, that can go.
That can go.
You're like, that can go. You're like, no, I ain't a kickboxer. I love the
No,
gym and I love hiking.
hiking's number one. Hiking's
Mhm.
number one for everything.
You're like, and then I love the gym. You're like, but that kickboxing,
Yeah.
all right. So now I'm gonna give you three people, and one of them has to go, and all of it work. All right. So I'm gonna go with the Beatles. I'm gonna go with the Beach Boys, or I'm gonna go with the Osmonds.
I'm going to say the Osmonds. I can remember watching the Osmond show when I was a little kid. It was so corny. it, it was like the Lawrence Welk of our generation. And I love the Beatles. I could never let them go.
So you said the Osmonds.
The Osmonds, yeah.
You're like Beach Boys and Beatles gotta stay. They gotta stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. We're gonna go Jennifer Hudson, Fantasia, or Tina Turner.
And who was the second one?
Fantasia Barrino.
I don't even know who that is. So I'm going to let
He was
that
on
person go.
American Idol.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that particular thing. So it's easy. I don't even know who he is because Tina Turner's not going anywhere.
Okay.
She's the goddess.
All right, all right. We're gonna go Elton John,
Okay.
Prince, Rogers Nelson, or Michael Jackson.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I'm just gonna say Nielsen just because those other three, oh, I couldn't say no to them.
So Prince gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to, but if you're putting them other three in there, them other
I
two in there.
know. Yeah.
All right, all right. So, all right, we're gonna go Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, or James Brown.
Oh my. That's the worst one. Oh, it is getting tougher. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll say James Brown. I don't want any of them to go, but I'll say James
You're
Brown.
like, if I gotta pick one, it's gonna be James
Yeah.
Brown.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take so long to decide that.
No, no, no. All right. Now this last one, I promise you, is gonna be your toughest one yet.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go Cher from Sonny and Cher,
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston, or Celine Dion.
Mm. I'm gonna say Cher. She had a lot of great stuff, but I think the other two women were so phenomenally talented. So sorry, Cher, you got to go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So now I'm gonna let you ask me a couple,
Oh
and
gosh.
yeah. I'll let you ask
Oh,
me a couple.
okay. I wasn't prepared for this, so let me think. Uh, so let's go back to that exercise one. So for you,
All right.
so would it be weightlifting? I'll put kickboxing in there, or high impact aerobics.
Man, all three are fun. I love all three. I love all three. But if one of them gotta go, high impact aerobics. Because for me, weightlifting, I absolutely love it. Kickboxing is how I de-stress. It's like how I kind of relax. I haven't done it in a while, but I always love it. So,
Okay. And since I love to travel. Let's try
okay.
that.
I do too. I love traveling too. So,
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's say the Florida Keys, Hawaii, or Florence, Italy?
Ooh, ooh. That's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Florida Keys. Gotta go because I love Hawaii. It's beautiful, and Florence, Italy. That's on my bucket list to go to. I have to go
Oh,
there one day.
I've been. It's phenomenal. Yeah. 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 Actually, my Italy trip is why I moved to Colorado, left DC and moved because I went to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Did you want one more?
Yep, you can give me one more.
Okay. One more. Okay. Dessert. Since
All
I'm a
right.
huge like desserts every day for me. So
Yep.
that's why I work out.
Same. Same.
Right? At 56, if I can still eat dessert every day, you got to do that.
You are
Yeah.
lying. You are not 56.
I am 56. I am. I'm a grandmother. Anyway, so ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Mm, I love all three. I love all three. But cake gotta go because I love my ice cream and my cookies more.
I hear you. I have ice cream every day. It's something I
Hmm.
started when I was pregnant with my daughter, and she's going to be 34, and I'm still doing it.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, what we're gonna do now is once again, I thank you so much for coming on and taking some time out of your busy day to come on and share some love with us and spread the love with us. So, what I want you to do right now is I want you to tell my audience where they can find you and give them an encouraging word. Right now, we're going to have what we call the real talk moment, and the floor is yours.
All right. Well, all of my social media links are on my website, and that is highvaluewoman.info. You can go. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. I also have my podcast, You Have the Power, The Road to Recovery from Trauma and Narcissistic Abuse. You can either get that on my website or go to Apple, Spotify, or Amazon Music. It's on as well. I have a blog, got some really awesome projects coming up, some writing projects and speaking engagements coming up. But if you just go to highvaluewoman.info, you can check everything out.
All
And
right.
let's see, encouraging word. Let's not forget that.
Mm-mm.
So, when it comes since it's Love Month, I would say whether you're in a relationship or not, no matter whether it's going well or not, always invest in yourself. Take yourself out on a date weekly. Do something for yourself, by yourself, and invest in you. That will either make your relationship or current relationship better, or if you're single or dating, you're going to get so straight with yourself, you're going to find that dream partner.
Amen. I agree with that 1000%. I definitely agree with that. So, we thank you all for rocking with us all month long. We appreciate it. Next month, we're going into another series. It is Women's History Month, all month next month. So, I have some powerful, influential women coming through here on next month that you all do not want to miss out on. And also, we are coming back out with the Real Talk Monday merch. We have the t-shirts, we have the hoodies, we have the bracelets, we have all of that. We're coming out with some new merch as well. If you are interested, email me at j23glover@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook, and we will definitely get with you and help you out with placing your order. So, as I always say, as we close out, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments, meaning sometimes if we're looking at it's bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. And I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.